Earlier on, we've looked at particles and the fact that particles make up all materials, all matter in the whole universe. And we've looked at how particles are arranged in solids, liquids, and gases. And now we're going to look at how particles are affected by heat, which is a really important concept for physics and for chemistry. We're combining two ideas in science here. So the first thing we need to remember is that heat, it's a type of energy. It's a type of energy, and it always flows from a hotter object to a colder object. Somewhere where there's a lot of heat to somewhere where there's not much heat. From hotter to colder materials. So here are a couple of pictures of the particles inside an object. So we've zoomed all the way in, and this is a solid object. Maybe it's the plastic in your mobile phone case. So here, this is an object that's cold. And what this means for the particles is that they're not moving and they're not vibrating very much at all, because they don't have a lot of energy. So the particles have a low energy and they're moving really slowly. Just like you as a person would if the weather's really cold. But when heat energy gets transferred to those particles, so when we start heating up that material, heat energy comes in and that causes particles to vibrate and start moving around a little bit. And we can see here on the diagram. The particles start to vibrate and they move around a little bit because they have a higher energy. Because heat energy has been transferred in. So that heat energy must have come from somewhere else. Maybe it's come from the sun heating up your mobile phone case. So overall, heat energy causes particles to move more. Heat causes particles to move more. And on the other hand, if we remove some heat, if we make something colder, then the particles will slow down and they'll vibrate or move less. So how is that related to changing the states of matter, which we've looked at earlier? Well, what happens is, when we start with a solid, we remember that all the particles are arranged nice and neatly in a lattice structure, in rows and columns going on forever. And as we increase, if we start adding heat energy in again, just like we learned, those particles will start vibrating and moving around a little bit. But when we keep adding in energy, when we add in enough energy, suddenly the particles will break apart and they'll be able to move a lot more freely. And as soon as they start being able to flow past each other, then they've become a liquid. So we can see here, the particles aren't attached together anymore. They're able to flow and move around. So now we've actually changed the state. We've melted the solid.